this up through here, they do skate this in the winter, all this piece up here, but it's not quite frozen enough yet. It's only, I don't know what it is, -5, -10, something like that. It once we get into the serious cold, then it sets up better. But we're not into the serious cold yet. It's cold enough, trust me, -10 is cold enough. However, not as cold as it's going to get. I think next week we're back into the -20s, something like that. So, not too bad. That's most of winter here. People they underestimate the cold, but we have a very dry cold. It sounds silly, but we have a very dry cold, and it's quite deceptive too. You go out and you don't feel cold, but I can assure you it is. It's also slippery too. This time of the year we have this hard packed snow on just about every path, and if I was smart I would have put my spikes on. However, two things: I'm not smart and I didn't put my spikes on. Either way, doesn't make any difference. Just in the winter around here you end up walking like a penguin. Right, I was going to bring my litter picking stuff with me today, but unfortunately this time of the year you can't actually see most of the garbage because it's buried under the snow. If there is any, it's buried, you can't see it, which is a major pain. However, in the spring, once all the snow melts, then you find out how much has accumulated over the winter, and that's when you really do need to get out and about and start litter picking. Right, so just going to head on up this way a little bit. Going to make sure I've got 2 hands available for the next piece because it's a bit icy, and then I'll do some more in a bit. There we go. That bit's a little icy down through there. Right, so back into the park. This is most of what Calgary's like for most of the winter. Cold, cold, cold or cold. You can have any flavour of cold you want, and everything is pretty much white or brown. Yeah. Yeah. But the climate here is amazing, and the good thing is, I'll show you something. A lot of the places I go up in the mountains, a lot of big creeks and rivers and cracked across and all that kind of stuff. But this time of the year, let me just show you something. All those little creeks and rivers and what have you, the smaller rivers anyway, I won't walk on the big rivers. The smaller rivers all become highways, like this. Yeah? If I had my spikes on, it's actually easier for me to walk straight up that ice than it is through this snow. So the little creeks, and there are places that I know out in the mountains that I only go in the middle of winter, because there's one place, there's a valley, I call it the secret valley. Not going to tell you where it is, else it wouldn't be secret. And the only way I can get up in that valley is there's a shallow waterfall, which is like a tapered waterfall, and in the winter when it's been like -20 or so, I can actually walk up that waterfall. It's huge fun coming down because you just slide down it. It's like a big slide, and it's an area that going through the forest is almost impossible. I have tried it in the summer to get up in there, and I can't even get up in that valley, which is why I call it the secret valley. And up in there are amazing places, little gorges and areas where you can camp and hike and all that kind of stuff. But the only way I've ever found getting up in there, unless you flew in by helicopter, is to walk up the rivers in the winter. Because in the summer, obviously, you can't walk up the waterfalls. And one of the waterfall, the main one that you have to walk up to get up in there, it's only about 50 to 60 feet, I guess, of elevation up through the water, and it only gains, I don't know, maybe 20 feet in total elevation, but it's about 50-60 feet long. And the only way I can find to actually get up in there is in the winter, is walk up the snow and ice. Now, it's a very interesting spot to get to. I guarantee you won't see too many people up in there. A lot of people walk past it. Not many people know that that's the way into that valley. So, I will keep that quiet. I'm not going to tell you where that is, otherwise all the Instagram people will be up there. Hey, Mr. Squirrel, how's it going? I see you. Somebody's put a little food tray on the back of that tree. I see it. Yeah, you're looking for food in there, I guess. Yeah, look at that. They know where the food is. Yes, I see you. I don't know how they hang upside down on a tree like that. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Right, either way, I'm going to head on round this way. But, I did a litter pick up in here the other week, and the other side of the river here, there was a homeless camp up here. But there was a whole bunch of crap that had been left behind. Literally, it's just garbage, garbage, garbage. Pulled out piles of garbage out of there. But, like I've said in some of my other videos, people need somewhere to live, and it's fine. If you want to live in the bushes, you want to set up a camp in there, I got no objection to that whatsoever. What I do object to is when you leave it looking like a pile of crap. It's not your piece of land to leave like a pile of crap. The people that own that land let people walk up through there. It is actually private land, but it's they do let people walk up through there with the proviso that you take care of it. Sorry, but dumping garbage and crap all over it is not taking care of it. No. Either way. Right. Today is only about, I think it was around, hovering around 0 to -5, something like that, I think is what we're expecting today. But even so, always make sure when you head out that you do have hat, gloves. I've got my gloves on. Always make sure you got a hat, gloves, scarf. It's here in the city, it's fine because you're not more than 10 feet away from somebody, pretty much. You know, even though it looks pretty deserted in here, you wouldn't have to shout for long before somebody would hear you. And at least around here, people will come to your aid. You know, it's not like some places I've lived in the world. You'd be laying on the side of the street and people would just walk past you. Around here, we do pride ourselves. Oh, boat coming. Right. So that's what I need, is a bike like that with those great big tyres. I see quite a lot of those actually, which is good. People are out and about. If you're going to live in Canada, you better like winter, because half of the winter is, you know, half of the year is like this. This is how it is, you know. If you're not somebody that likes snow and cold and that kind of stuff, this is not the place for you. Yeah, there are places that are a little bit warmer. Oh, people coming through the trees, so I'll switch this off for a second. There we go. I don't like to video people that I don't know. I might bump into Rudolph up around here, and I don't mean the red-nosed reindeer. There's a chap that I bump into walking around a park here. He seems to be here every day. Doesn't matter what day you walk through here. There's a guy called Rudolph. I believe he's Dutch, and a super nice guy. Always stops for a chat, says hello to everybody. Everybody knows him, you know. It's which is good. It's good. It's what's called community. People have forgotten what community is all about, unfortunately. Everybody's all me, 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 me. That's not what it's about at all. In my pocket, I have a bunch of Tim Hortons cards, and when I find the homeless people, which invariably you do, I don't like to give them money. I won't give them money because you don't know what they're spending it on. I'm quite happy to give them a Timmy's card, and they can go and buy themselves breakfast and some food and that kind of thing. They put a bunch of new trees in here, which, in case you're wondering, they got the wire baskets around it to keep the beavers off. That's what the wire baskets are for. Calgary has a very healthy population of beavers. Now there are footpaths and steps. That forest you can see the other side of the bridges there. There are footpaths and steps and stuff up in there. If I had my spikes with me, I probably would go that way. When they were doing the construction here, they built that set of stairs so that people could still use a pathway, but now they've put a zigzag all the way back up the hill. But if you look in that corner over there, there's a set of steps. There's really nice walkways over through there. But this area here used to have lots of nice benches and stuff on it, and I believe they are redoing it. I believe this is getting redone. Hopefully that's in next year's budget, because it needs to be redone. This was a nice little spot. Come and sit down here, watch the world go by. There's more people coming over the bridge, so I'm just going to detour around this way. Wasn't long ago there was only one bridge here. Now we have two. I did think it was odd when they built the first bridge, the one with the green walkway under it, that was the first bridge. I did think it was odd that when they built that they only made it a couple of lanes, but now I know why. Yeah, once the traffic actually built up, then they added the extra lane here. Right, over this way. If you look right on the horizon, you see that big blue, that light blue bit of cloud? That's what they call a Chinook arch, which means we get the warm weather in Calgary, which is good. It's, like I say, we're 0 to somewhere between 0 and -10 we're going to be today, I think, something like that. But you see that blue arch? If you could see the top of the mountains, you'd see there's a layer of grey cloud right above there. And I can tell you now, if it's cool here, or nice and warm here, it's going to be freezing out there, and it's going to be blowing like crazy in the wind. That's just the way the Chinooks work. Think of putting your thumb over the end of a bicycle. When you pump the bicycle pump, your thumb gets hot. It's exactly the same here. As the air comes over the other side of the mountains, it warms up, compresses, turns into warm air in Calgary. But yeah, makes for a good place to live. Right, I'm going to head up over the bridge. Right, time to set off up over the bridge. We'll do for a fence today. Look at that. I've run out of fences for my fence pictures, so I will do this one. I do like this bridge. This is what they call a very well placed bridge, because it makes amazing loops up around here. That's the Bow River down there, some of the best trout fishing in the world, that is. Let me tell you, people come from all over the world to fish that river. Over there in the distance you can see the red barn, and that in there, that's the Shriners camp there, the kids camp and what have you. That's all down in there. So yep, that is private land up in there, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, they're super nice people, really nice people. However, it is theirs, so give them the space they need to do the stuff they need. There's usually a bunch of horses over in there, but there's no horses there today. Can't see them. Down through here. So off to the right is Bowness Park. Off to the left, where that white building is over there, that's the water treatment plant, one of them along this area. That's up over that way. So we will continue over here. And the park I'm heading towards now is called Baker Park. You know, Baker Park used to be, many years ago, it was a medical town, if you want. People with TB and that kind of stuff. There was a sanatorium there as well. That was a separate town. And there's a railway station there. Anybody who knows the name of the railway station, there's a bonus point involved on it. Anybody know the name of the railway station? Bonus point. The station was called Keith, as in the guy's name. Not sure why it was called Keith, but it was. But there used to be a railway station there, and only recently did they take the building down. It was only a tiny little building. I say building, basically it was a shed, but it was there for a while. So head down this way. Now when they were rebuilding all this lot, what they did on it, when they were rebuilding all this lot, what they did is they had the path going straight across and up the hill, but now they've re-detoured it back around to they've re-detoured it around to where the original path went. You can cut straight across there underneath the bridge, but don't, because they've got it all replanted and they are trying to get that back to as it was. Let's plant it all up, which is good. Right, one last look at the park over there. I'm going to head round to the left, up round the corner. There's a lot of runners and people down here today. Alright, another guy out for a run. It's a very physically active city. I mean, summer, winter, doesn't matter. Plus 30, minus 30, doesn't matter. Everybody's out and about doing something. Right. So, I will use that as a shot, and I'll do some more when I get up over there. Right. I've done this picture down through here many times. It's not a bad shot down through there. Like I say, no horses here today. Usually off on my left hand side here. Up through these fields here, there's usually horses in there. Right, so I'm going to head up underneath the bridge, round into Baker Park. Like I say, Baker Park used to be a separate town, and it was basically a sanatorium and a town for TB, so they could, like infected people if you want, they could send out there, get them all better, and get them back into downtown. But it used to be out in the middle of nowhere. If you see it on a map now, it's like right smack in the middle of everything. But back then, it was in the middle of nowhere. So, now, all around Calgary, you'll see these signs. These are the bikeway signs. And this tells you Greenway North. The Greenway basically goes right around the entire city. You can go, I can't remember how many kilometres it is, but I can tell you it's a bloody long way. It's hundreds of kilometres. There are bike paths everywhere. That heads off up the hill that way. It down through here, under the bridge. I did do a whole bunch of pictures here years ago, before they built this second bridge, and that was good. Right, let's head underneath this one. Busy roads. Nice pictures down through this way. Yeah, they want to keep all this closed off down in here. They have replanted it all. I can see the beavers have had some of those out of there already. Yeah. So, yes. Very busy road. Very busy. More people on the bridge over there. Yeah, it's a good walk round, eh? This turns it into a very nice loop. This loop all the way around here is about 6 kilometres. This one that I do. I was sitting indoors today, stagnating, thinking, what can I do today? Well, here I am, and about doing this. Right, going to continue around. Right, there's the water treatment plant. They're doing some upgrades to that, not quite sure what they're doing. But this point here, this is a turnaround, this is a boat launch. You'll find a lot of people that sail down the river in the summer. I wouldn't recommend it this time of year, that water's bloody cold. It's not that much warmer in the summer, I can tell you. This is where a lot of people launch from. They launch their boats from here. Very busy spot on a summer's day. There are companies that set up in here, and they will literally have hundreds of rafts here ready to float down the river, and they are quite often fully booked. So if you ever want to do that on a summer's day, make sure you book early, or bring your own raft. You can take your own raft down here, it doesn't make any difference. Do whatever you want with your own boat, but if you want one of them, make sure you book early. Right, so I'm coming up the hill here. This is coming into what was the town, Baker Park, where all these big trees are over on the side here. This was the edge of town. Now it's a park. They have one of those disc golf things in there. You can come play frisbee golf or whatever it is. It's called disc golf. A lot of people do it like that. That's good. Yeah. These benches here in the summer, I clean up a lot of cigarette ends and that around these things. That drives me nuts, cigarette ends. People come out here to sit and look and enjoy the outside, and hey presto. Yeah. See the band of blue underneath the bridge there, and you can see the cloud down towards the horizon. That's the windy cloud, as I call it, in the mountains. I can tell you, that'll be windy out there today. I made that mistake when I first moved over here, because I love skiing. Skiing's great fun, love it. However, you look at a day like today and you think, oh wow, what a fantastic day, head to the mountains, go skiing. And I can tell you now, not so much, because if it's nice and warm here in the Chinook, it's going to be windy as bloody hell out there, guarantee it. Right, on I go. So I use all these bins in the summer for litter picking, because I can just go around. I take my 5-gallon bucket with me and I fill it up. I used to use bags, but I find a 5-gallon bucket actually works so much better, because you can just fill it up, and there's so many bins, it's easier to empty. Literally just fill it up. If it starts to get a little bit full, you can just stomp on it. But luckily where I live here, people are very litter conscious. There is still litter, don't get me wrong, there are still people that chuck crap on the ground. I find that unfortunately everywhere you go in the world. However, here you find people have a little bit more pride in all that kind of stuff, so they don't tend to do it as often. So I'm just going to see if I can do, there's a picture that I take along here quite often. You'll see a lot of my pictures, I do the same pictures different times of the year from the same place. I'm just going to see if I can get this one through the trees here. There's one that I do here. Oh, there's some people out there playing frisbee golf now, look. Yeah, there's a picture I get here quite often, if I can find the gap in the trees. That's right here. There we go. That one there. That's a picture that I've done in the summer. I've done it in the fall, and we're now doing the same picture in the winter. Not bad, eh? Yeah, it's a nice picture. Nice bench. These big old trees here, these are the ones that were here from the town days. This was like the town boundary, if you like. So, yeah, head back out on the path. It's easy to walk on. They do clear the cycleways in Calgary, which is good. They keep them clear. And so that water down there, that's the Bow River. It's incredibly. See, they've trimmed back some of these shrubs on the side here. People look at them and go, "Oh my God, they've cut them right back." Yeah, you wait a year, they'll be back up there again. These are the only bears you're likely to see in this park. These ones and the ones over the other side. Somebody did ask me the other week why we have funny garbage cans. But, I'll tell you why. Once I get up there, I'll show you. These garbage cans that we have are actually bear-proof cans, because although the mountains are off to my left there a considerable distance, bears do wander into town. We do occasionally get them wander into town. They're looking for food, and their sense of smell is insanely good. They can find food 10 kilometers away. Do you know that? Like if you've got something dead 10 kilometers away, a bear can find it. Yeah, and I believe a polar bear is even further. Right, so yeah, over there on top of the hill, you can see there's a radio tower and a tower there. Next to it, looks like a coal mine tower. That is actually the tower that Eddie the Eagle used in the '88 Olympics for his ski jumps. That is where that took place. Yeah. Which is always good. Now that's what you call a snowball. Yeah. That's a big snowball, that one and that one. Took somebody a while to roll those down there. And you have to be careful, because this time of the year, when it's hovering around zero, you can make snowballs and stuff like that. But in the middle of winter, you can't. Good morning. Hi there. Yeah, it's in the winter when we get cold snow, we get dry snow, it's very powdery snow. You can scrunch it up, but there's no moisture in it. It won't go turn into a snowball. You can make snowballs this time of the year because the snow is still wet, but in the middle of winter you can't. It's just dust, just like white dust, which is good because you come back to your car and you find a foot of snow on it and you think, oh Christ, all you have to do is clear off one of the doors, slam the door, and all the snow falls off the car. It's brilliant. But there's the only other bears you're likely to see. Yeah, you watch, I'll come around the corner and find a bloody grizzly down here now. Yeah, only day I don't have my bear spray on me. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The police look at you a little funny if you're carrying bear spray around the city, and they're never wise. Although you can get bears here, but yeah, the police don't tend to like it if you're carrying bear spray around the city. Yeah, that takes some explaining. Yeah. Right, that bridge you can see just ahead across the river, that one there is the 12th Street Bridge, and I have a choice when I get to there. I can cross over that bridge because I'm actually parked in the park over that side. If I look, yes, I can actually see my car. It's good, still there. Yeah, excellent. I can either go across that bridge and turn it into a 3-kilometre loop, or I can continue on down to what's called Beaumont Park and turn it into a 6-kilometre loop. The only problem with doing the 6k is there's one little downhill bit that goes down to a bridge that brings you into the back of that park, and this time of the year it can be quite spectacular getting down that hill. It's only a little hill. I've actually sat on my arse and just slid down it in the fall, because that's actually the easiest way to get down it. The other piece of this park, let's just go heading down this. I'm in Baker Park. I'm just leaving Baker Park and heading to Beaumont. That blue sign up there, if you look at it, that's the Trans-Canada Trail. This is part of the trail that runs through Alberta, that basically goes all the way from here to the east coast. That's about 5 time zones away from here. 5.5? I think the whole country is like 5.5 time zones. So it's probably 5, something like that, time zones across to the other end of this path. So if you used to follow this path and just keep walking, about 3,000 some odd, 4,000 some odd kilometres later, you'd be getting close to the other end of it. Other than that, it's going to take you a while. People do it. There are people that have done the entire trail. That must take bloody months to do that. I know some of the bits up through the mountain. If anybody follows my videos, you'll know that I do a lot of trail clearing up in the mountain. And there is about a 40-kilometre stretch of the Trans-Canada that I look after every year. I go through there 2 or 3 times a year, make sure there's no deadfall. And this year I went through, and there was very little. There was one area where they'd done some logging, and there was half a dozen bits in there I had to move out. But other than that, it was actually in very good shape. But over the years, I have cleared out crap loads of trees off of that section of trail, so it's only fresh deadfall that you're going to find. In the spring, you head back out on all the trails that I've done. Anybody that's watched my videos of where I've been this summer, there's an area that I've been concentrating on that gets very little use. There are some amazing trails down through there. There's no Instagram pictures and all that, they're just forest trails, so people don't tend to do anything with them. Hang on, what's that I see in there? Is it a bag of garbage? Oh, that's that over there. Hang on. Garbage bag. Oh, that's one less garbage bag. I will stick that in the bin up here. I have to say, I've been looking for garbage. I have to say, that is it so far. I've walked about 2 kilometres, I guess, and that is the first bit of garbage I've seen. So that's good. And that's going in the bin up here in a minute. Yeah. They blow in the wind, not a lot you can do about it. A lot of this stuff, people don't deliberately drop it on the ground. You find tissues and things. When I'm wandering around, I find tissues on the ground. My pet peeve around this walk is people picking up after their dogs. I think that is a fantastic idea, and it is actually a legal requirement. And then they throw the plastic bag with the dog crap in the bloody bushes. Like, if I saw people doing that, I'd make them go in and get it bloody out. Yeah, that would turn into a very bad day for them people. Yeah, but it drives me nuts. There are so many bins on here. There's not a section of this pathway that more than about 300 metres doesn't have a bin on it. There's no excuse whatsoever, absolutely none. It's just laziness. But this plastic bag is the first bit of garbage I've actually found. That is good. Right, more people coming, so I'm just going to head down. Right, well, I've got to the decision point. I can either go up there over the bridge back into the park, which is a really short walk, or I can continue round. So it says up there the pathway is open, so that's good. Now they do have open and closed signs on those paths, and there's a very good reason for that. In the middle of winter, when the river ice gets really, really thick, it can literally turn up on the path here. You'll end up with 3 foot thick ice on this path down here. They have these gates here to close them off. Yeah. Right down through here, you can quite often find this completely log jammed with ice. So you have to be a little bit careful. Now, head down under. Not a good day for a swim, eh? Unless you're one of these guys. Right, this is heading on down into Beaumont Park. Uh-oh, I can hear a siren. Yeah. Yeah, this is heading down into Beaumont. As you can see, I mean, these are all cycleways. The city does make an incredibly good job at keeping the cycleways bikeable in winter. I mean, if you've got decent winter tyres on your bike, you can ride on the snow, it's not a problem. There are many places in the world where they do ride on the snow all the time. However, around here, the main cycleways, as you can see, they do keep them clear. I've seen numerous videos and what have you, people saying, oh, Calgary's not a bikeable city and all that kind of crap. These are usually done by people that have never been here. Right, as you can see, plenty of signs here, there and everywhere, tells you where to go. This is going to take me on down to over the bridges. Talking of which, comes a bike now. Alright then, morning. Yeah, so Calgary is a very bikeable city. I can't remember, I think there was 1,200 kilometres. Last time I looked, I think it was about 1,200 kilometres of bikeways around Calgary. There's a lot on them, which is not a bad thing. Yeah. I must admit, if I wasn't such a lazy bugger, I'd get my bike out. But I only have thin tyres on it. I'd have to put winter tyres on it. And my bike is completely original. It has about 12 kilometres on it. It was only ever ridden once, and it has remained exactly the same for nearly 30 years. I remember when I moved, the moving guys, one of them was a bike fanatic, and he said to me, he says, "Holy crap!" And he knew exactly what bike it was. He says, "That's in mint condition." And so I said to him, I said, "It's got literally like 12 kilometres on it." He wanted to know if I wanted to sell it, but it's not for sale. No. Yeah. Where is that siren going? Down over 12th maybe. Or was that Nose Hill? No, that's Nose Hill. He's going up, I think. Yeah. Right. What I'm looking for down here over the bridge, there may be the Christmas tree. There is a tree in there that I don't know who decorates it. It's not me. I have done some in the past in various locations where they hang Christmas ornaments on trees. Later on today I will be posting a picture of something very similar on my Flickr page, and but for the moment I'll head around this way. Yeah, that sounded like maybe going up Nose Hill perhaps. But this is Calgary. This is. I mean, there are so many places to walk and bike, cycle, and just basically just get out and about. When you look at this, and you head downtown, I mean, we got a major wetland right in the middle of downtown. Anybody that sees my other videos will know where that is. Yeah, there are so many places like this. It's just crazy. Right, on I go. Right, coming up here to my turn-off point. This is decision time. I can go a really long walk if I want. I can go straight on underneath the train bridge, which of course there are no trains on. Never is when I'm here. Or I can cut across this bridge, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a short route. Now be very careful with the water. Let me show you something. But, how fast that water's flowing through there. Like if you end up in that water, life expectancy, not long. You need to get out of there and get dry like right now. And, that water will kill you and kill you fast. But, 15 minutes after being in that water, you're not getting out of it. Simple as that. So, do be very careful with the water. I did make a video yesterday. I was explaining about the young man that tragically died out in Lapland there. I have reviewed many of the videos that the young man made, and I'm going to re-emphasize a point I made yesterday. When you see YouTube videos and stuff on how to do all that outdoor stuff and all the rest of it, use them as guides, but don't take them as gospel, as this is what you can do, this is what you can do. Surviving outside in the cold, even this cold where I am now, like 0 to -5, -10, like overnight with no wind, even with no wind, it's bloody cold. The homeless people that survive here in the winter, a lot of them don't. Simple as that. You'd be surprised how many fatalities there are every year. You know, homeless people, they get caught out in the cold, and unfortunately some of them don't make it. It's one of those things, people think it's easy, but it is not. I can tell you now, it's not. So don't ever be tempted to try that. There are some very good channels out there in YouTube land. Come on, why is there no train now? There are some very good channels out there in YouTube land on exactly that subject. The one that comes to mind straight off the top of my head would be Survival Russia with Lars. He actually does the -20, -30 outdoor stuff, and he will show you what is actually involved in doing that, not the perceived version of how that works, but the actual version of how it works. But, a lot of people underestimate it. Good morning. A lot of people underestimate that. The level of cold is stunning. Oh, there's a nice dog. Oh, there's two of them. Oh, look at the size of this guy. That was interesting. He's talking to that lady. The dogs there. They're pretty big dogs, eh? Yeah. Just telling them about one of my old neighbours had a dog like that. Carl, his name was. He had 2 dogs, Bear and Tundra. Bloody great things. Couldn't tell you what they were, other than they were huge, like ponies. Yeah. Yeah, he did tell me how much food they ate in a week as well. It was insane. Way more than I do. Yeah. Right. So anybody that knows me will know this bridge very well. If I'm doing my litter picking, I head down onto the little beach area that's here. It's a very popular spot. People in the summer go swimming and just play on the beach and what have you. I wouldn't go swimming in this time of the year, you'll freeze to death. Like I was just saying, the water, if you fall in that water, 15 minutes you're done. You ain't getting out of that because you're dead. Yeah. It will kill you very, very, very fast. So just be very careful of that. What do we have here? Somebody lost something. Found a phone. Oh, okay, somebody found a phone. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to head up over this way, up over the bridge. No point heading down onto the bank. As I was saying about the young man that tragically died, it turns out I reviewed his videos, and what I'm about to say may not be popular, but condolences to his family. Obviously losing anybody is never good. However, what I do have to say is I think the guy, I don't know whether he was really up to the task of what he found himself in. He was certainly okay with the conditions he'd been in before. Alright then, bit slippery this bit, eh? Yeah. He was certainly very familiar with the bits he'd been in before, and he had a reasonable skill set for those conditions. But he found himself in a situation in a snowstorm, and it was only -6, which doesn't sound cold, but a wet -6 is very different to a dry -6. -6 here is nothing. Like in the middle of winter, -6 is almost tropical. I see people walking around with jeans and t-shirts in -6 because it is dry. It's a very dry cold. I always tell people, you know, where we live, this is a very dry cold. Where he was, he had wet snow, and wet snow and wind. The wind chill where he was, looking at the weather that was prevalent at the time from the data that I can find, wind chill would have been somewhere in the -15 to -20 bracket. Now, out and about in that, from what I can make out, he didn't really have a tent, and my suspicion is, nobody knows for certain, so this is just a suspicion, my suspicion is he decided to bail on the camping trip, decided to head back out, and got caught in the snow. And it can happen. I'll just wait for these people to go by and I will continue this. Yeah. Look at the ice build up on the side of the river. Never be tempted to walk on that ice because you'll end up in this river. Once you're soaked in this cold water, like I say, you've got about 15 minutes. You need to get out, get dry. Yeah. Alright then. Right. As I was saying, the chap, he didn't really have what I would call the correct gear. And I hate to say it, I don't think he had the correct knowledge for the conditions he found himself in. If you ever watch any of Survival Russia's videos on surviving in -20, you will understand the implications of doing so. But, I have been out in those conditions, I have camped in those conditions, and I now choose not to. It is dangerous. Yeah. Alright then. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's, -20 is no joke. It's not something you want to mess with. You only get to make one mistake. And from what I can see, my guess is that the guy probably didn't have gaiters. If I'm ever out in the wet snow, air dry snow is just powdery, it'll just fall off, it doesn't clog around your legs and stuff. If you're in wet snow, if you look at this stuff, this is wet snow. See that? That sound, that's wet snow. Now if he found himself in 18 inches of that, 2 foot of that, in a snowstorm, that's quite possible, then he may well have just, all the bottom of his legs may have just iced up. And from what I can make out, one of the messages he sent was his feet were all iced up, he's got snow in his boots. Your feet will freeze. You may think you'll still be able to walk. In your mind you can walk, and what you envision is you can walk. But I can tell you now, when your feet get that cold, your feet go numb, your body will automatically reduce the blood flow to that area because it knows you're cooling down and your body knows you're getting dangerously cold, so it will restrict the blood flow to your feet and the lower parts of your legs. No blood flow, muscles don't work. Very, very simple. So that's what I think happened. Didn't have gaiters, got snow down there, feet seized up. He had a broken nose apparently as well. Not quite sure how he did that. He may have fallen over, or may have walked into something in the blizzard. Who knows? Don't know. That's all speculation until we know. But either way, it's a very sad loss, and it's something that can be avoided with proper training. Unfortunately, people do see all this stuff on YouTube. They all head out. I see it all the time. I see people out and about, going to places out in the mountains, which is why I do what I call public videos, and then there's private videos. Give me 2 seconds, I'll just get past all these people. The dogs are running around down there, so they're going to be a while. Right, let me head back up this way. Like I was saying, and that guy unfortunately found himself in a situation for which I think he was very ill prepared to deal with. He tried to get out, he tried to head back out. From what I can make out, he wasn't even camping with a tent, he had a tarp, and that ain't going to keep you going. I do have a tarp. He had what I call a summer tarp. I do have a tarp that I take with me. I always have 2 in the pack, and they're both 10 by 12s. Right, let's head up this way. And I can build, out of those 2 10 by 12s, I can build a shelter, double walled shelter, that will certainly help keep the wind off. -6 is certainly survivable, that's not a problem. -6 with a severe wind chill in wet snow, that isn't. That can catch up with you really, really, really fast, and that's exactly what I think happened to the poor guy. Like I say, condolences to the guy's family, but people watch videos. I see it all the time. You know, Arctic survival, this windstorm, nothing but 2 lolly sticks and a piece of string, you know. And they all seem to want to make these more and more daring videos. The reality is, if you go out in places like that in those conditions, chances are you're not coming home. Simple as that. -20 wind chill is lethal, especially in wet snow. I was originally from the UK. I can tell you now, -5 in the UK, people die. -5 is a killer in the UK because of the damp. And I think they had, from what I can make out in the location he was in, it was very, very similar conditions. Around here we get what I call Arctic dry snow. I think where he was, that was wet snow. Wet snow, -6 with a severe wind. No, that's just asking for trouble. Yeah. Yes. There is a very good saying that I have, that I try to pass on to people all the time. Know your limit, stay within it. There's a guy that does a really good channel here in Alberta, and he's got hundreds and hundreds of videos on his channel. It's called Live on Alberta, and his name's Corey. He's always out hiking and stuff, and he loves it. Right, now this is the bit that's really slippery. Yeah, his name's Corey. It's called Live on Alberta, and he does an excellent job with his videos, but one of his best videos. Alright then, I did wonder if there'd be anybody here sliding down here today.
Oh yeah, you get some real distance on this stuff.
Yeah, I got a feeling I'm going to be joining them in a minute. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that side.
Walk, like.
Oh yeah, I'm going to take the easy side. I'm going to wimp out. I'll leave all the exciting stuff to you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to wimp out. I'm going to take the side route. And down by the bridge at the bottom here, there's a really steep bit, so I might be sliding down there on my rear end. Yeah. Oh, there they go. Woohoo! Look at this guy go. Yeah. And this is what we do all winter. Slide up and down hills. Right, so I'm heading down over the bridge. Yes, it's very tragic when somebody loses their life doing something like that. I do, I was saying just now, I do public videos and I do private stuff. My private videos, when I go camping or go out into places out in the mountains that I consider to be dangerous, or places I don't want people to know where they are, I never publish those videos. The videos that you get to see on my YouTube channel are what I call the public stuff. I do a lot of camping and a lot of just heading out, pushing myself, see what I can do. But I understand the risks and I accept the risks. But unfortunately, right, that guy didn't make that one. Right, here we go. I got to get down this hill. I'm going to need 2 hands for this. Right, so I'm down the hill. The guy that was in front of me fell over, slid halfway down the hill. That gentleman over there, and I almost joined him. I have slid down that hill on my rear end I don't know how many times. Yeah. I have brought my spade with me before now and dug little steps up the side of there in the snow, but there's not enough snow there yet to do that. Right, so motto of the story: when you see stuff on the internet and you see videos of people out taking amazing photos out in the mountains and stuff, some of the places I go, the views and everything are absolutely stunning, but I don't tell people where they are, because then they end up on everybody's Instagram list. Oh, I've got to go there, I've got to go there, I've got to go there. And they don't realise how dangerous some of those people, those places are. The exposure is incredible, and by exposure, that is, you are exposing yourself to danger, whether that be through weather, cliffs, mountains. Mountains, they are very unforgiving. I never mess with mountains, they'll kill you fast. Yeah. But, same as this weather up through here. And this is not particularly cold, but in the wrong circumstances, like if you were out and about in this and you were drinking and you fell over in this snow, alcohol will bring all the blood to the surface. You are now going to go down with hypothermia really, really fast. So drinking out in this weather, out in places like this, never ever ever, just don't do it. It's not worth it. People do, but trust me, don't do it. Right, that's the bridge I come over just now down there. Yeah. Yes, it is a shame when we lose a fellow YouTuber. I really wish these people would get more training. You know, I did all my training in the military. I've done it in serious cold. I've been out in -20, and I choose now not to do it. You won't see me making videos -20 this, -20 that, because A, I can do it, but B, it is one of the most uncomfortable sleep you're ever going to have. Yeah, if you get to sleep. The amount of firewood that you need to get yourself through the night is beyond what I would call reasonable. You are cutting a stack of firewood, you know, this high, big logs, 2 of them. Make sure you got shitloads of wood, because I guarantee you, if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're going to need it. And not just big logs too. If you're making that kind of fire to keep yourself going, you need, I would say, 10 to 15 decent sized logs, depending on the species of the wood and what have you. Around here you need about 10 to 15 to get you through the night. But also I cut up a bunch of logs, what I call like shorter logs, like 1 foot 18 inches, that kind of length logs. I cut a whole stack of those as well, because if you have to wake up in the middle of the night and you find your center log is burnt through, your back log's almost through, you can just chuck 2 or 3 of those in the bottom just to get the fire going again, and then you can stack some bigger logs on top, because it's great adding bigger logs. However, you need the heat to get them going, so never forget to cut the small stuff as well. You're going to need a bunch of that, and it's a huge amount of wood. You can clear half a bloody forest. So if you was camping somewhere out there for a week, you'd be surprised. If you stacked it all up, you'd be absolutely stunned at how much wood you get through in a week. You know, one night is amazing. You know, you could fill the back of a pickup truck easy with what you're going to get through in a night. It's not that difficult at all. To me, I just can't justify that amount of wood and what have you just to make a video. So I just can't do it. I value the forests around here. I know we've got thousands of miles of forest in every direction you can think of, but I don't need to be using up, you know, half a cord of wood just for a campfire for a night. I just don't need to do that. No, not necessary. So get out, enjoy the stuff. If you're going to do it, make sure you've got the right gear. If you want to know how a lot of that stuff is done, you enroll yourself on a course. There are many great courses all over the world. You know, Ray Mears, Morskansky's, Karamat, all that. There's loads of them. They're all over. They're easy to find and they're fun, and they should always be done in a group. Try that. It doesn't matter how many skills you got. You know, My first camping trip was when I was 5. My first solo camping trip was when I was 8. I'm now slightly north of something that starts with 6. So I've been doing this crap for 50 odd years, and I would in no way consider myself to be an expert. I know a lot and I've done a lot. However, I'm in no way an expert, not at all. But I live in somewhere where we do this all the time. That young man had only been doing it 2 or 3 years, I guess, and from what I can make out, I didn't see any winter videos in his stuff. Most of his was like summer stuff. Yeah, he was camping in a forest. The wind was blowing like crazy and the big tall trees were waving. But as soon as I saw that, I thought, uh-oh, red flag, because that's not somewhere I would ever camp, not ever. I've seen the tops of trees snap out and fall 100 feet. Let me tell you, you don't want to be anywhere near that. The fire that he built was too big for the fire ring that he'd made. Never a good plan. Yeah. All right. So you have to be a little bit conscious of the weather and where you are, because weather will kill you fast. Everything else is just consequential. 99% of everything you do in survival is in your mind. Yeah. So either way, let me get back underneath this bridge. Right, this is heading back under what's called the 12th Street Bridge. This is where I could have crossed earlier from the other side. That's why I did that picture from the other side there. Could have crossed here. So this is about 5 kilometres, 5 and a bit, I guess, to here. Just got about another half a kilometre, 3/4 to get back to the car. But, yeah. So I won't say any more on that young man. It's one of those things that his family's going through enough as it is. I've seen a lot of what I would call keyboard experts out there, armchair experts, putting in their 5 pence worth of what he should have done, what he shouldn't have done, and all this kind of good stuff. But none of us were there with him. None of us know exactly what happened. None of us know what he was faced with. So it's one of those things. If you don't know, you can't really comment that much. Hopefully, by making this video and the previous one that I did, maybe it'll make people think, you know, it's going out and doing those things is not something that just anybody can do. People think they can because they see it on the internet. Oh, it's great, yeah, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. Nature will teach you harsh lessons very, very quickly. And some of those lessons you only get to make an error once. And that's exactly what happened, I'm afraid. Yeah. Either way. Right, let's get back into the park. Let's get on to a happier subject. Right. This is back into Bowness Park. As you can see, they've made the skateway, this ice loop. In the summer, that is the train track where the little miniature train runs around. And there's a gentleman over there skating. Well, skates like I do, with Bambi and eyes, arms and legs in every direction. Right. So he's heading. Let's see the ice through the trees there. That's the skateway. So I'm going to head up straight across here, because I want to head up as if there's any campfires going. I can smell the smoke. Oh. It's genetic, you know. It's I love the smell of campfire smoke. Some people hate it, some people love it. I've grown up with campfire smoke. It's everything I do, people will see in my videos, and there I am building a campfire, and I'll do it for no other reason other than I can. No other reason. So down in here, in the winter, they get the campfires going for people just to come and sit around and what have you. They do them downtown, they do them down here as well. Let's get back onto here. Oh yeah, that's a better path to walk on. There we go. Now up over this bridge that's in front of me, over the rail tracks and up over the bridge, I am hoping I'm going to find a campfire. I can smell it. Oh, I can see one up the end there. Yeah. Right, I'll do some more when I get back over the other side of the bridge. Alright, they have the crews out sorting out the ice for the winter skating. See, they spray a layer of water on it. They fill in all the holes, make it nice and flat. Same on this side. Yeah, you can skate all down through here all winter. It's all freebies. You come down, throw your skates on, there you go. Yeah. Well, they put some blocks down the other side there so you can get in and out easier. Oh, that's good. Because getting down into there is one thing, getting back out, it's not so easy. Yeah. of winter, you'll find the out on the ice here, you'll find they have the big campfires out here. Yep. Ice looks like it's setting up, but it's certainly not good skating ice yet. We'll have it flat. This will be flat ice hockey kind of ice by the time these guys are finished. It's one thing we're very good at in Canada, making good ice. Not just for ice hockey, but for also in the parks and stuff. We're bloody good at it. Yeah. Mother Nature helps, of course. Yeah. There's a big set of steps that they put in here down this side in the winter, so you can just walk down this bank and out onto there. They do curling and stuff along here as well. They have the little curling rinks and that set up. But I don't see any smoke over that side. It doesn't look like they've got the fire going. They have one over there. I can see the guy. Oh no, I see flames. Woohoo! Going to the campfire. Yeah. Yeah. In the summer this is all, like I say, over there you can see the boat rental thing. You can get boats and that over here. In the winter everybody comes ice skating. It's another good shot for my fence pictures. And it's back to where I started now. Oh, I see a good toasty warm campfire. Oh yeah, heading down there. Looks like they're just getting them going. Which is good. Oh, they've got the rubber mats down. All down on that side, they've got the rubber mats. Skaters, that's good. Well, this guy's cheating. He's not using no ferro rods. Yeah, this is what they call tiger torch cheating. Alright then. So that's what I call cheating. Yeah. So that's how you light the fire Canadian style. Much easier to do it that way. Yeah.
We have too many fires tonight. I don't mind.
Oh yeah, no, I don't blame you. Oh, that's nice. That's toasty warm, eh? Right, I'm going to use this as a closeout for my video. The gentleman there just got the fire going. A pile of firewood here. You can just chuck extra bits on if you need it. We don't need it at the moment. It's just going. Yeah. But that is a good campfire. We will take that. I'll use that as my closeout shot. Thank you for coming along.